Well, hello there. Happy summer since we just celebrated the summer solstice. I wanted to just jump on here and do a brief video about this interesting time that we are in the world. If you've followed me for a little while, you know I've spoken about that the intensity that we have gone through in the world as we've navigated a pandemic, issues of racial injustice, intense polarization, so many things. Like there's just an intensity that we experience with that. And while I think often it's tempting to feel like we can just flip a switch and that can just change, that's not usually how it goes. And similarly, that's true for our bodies, that when our body has adjusted, let's say, to social distancing or, sort of living in a certain way, whether that's, because of the pandemic or lots of different reasons, our body adjusts. And so it just had me thinking about this concept because it's such an important one in trauma work. And particularly, I really come from a somatic lens, which means body, and also attachment, which is really about the relational aspect of things. And gosh, that's exactly what this last year has really touched on. This has been it's affected us relationally, and it's also really affected our bodies, as all trauma does. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about what it might look like to honor the pace of your body. And I think this is true in this particular season, as the world is opening back up, for whatever that looks like for you. I know people are going to experience that in different ways in the world. But with that being in our sort of purview, to know that our body is going to adjust at different rates. And it's so helpful to know that, our body can give us information. And, one of the things I talk about in Try Softer is paying attention to when you feel like you have to white knuckle it, meaning that we have to sort of suppress or pretend or override our body. And that's different than hard work, because hard work, we can, it's a sort of a version of being able to tolerate it. It may be uncomfortable, but it's doable. And everybody's body is going to sort of handle that differently. And so, I just think about as we are doing this work, whether this is about the pandemic or whether this is just about for those of us who are complex trauma survivors who've had really significant instances of trauma, this may feel really familiar to you. And maybe you've even had to be, in a way, an expert in some of this in ways that you maybe haven't wanted to be. And so if that's true, I just honor you and honor what you've sort of had to learn. And, I think today as I just wanted to jump on here for a moment, I just want to invite you, what would it look like in this season to befriend and listen to your body here, to pay compassionate attention to your body here, versus having an expectation that your body will maybe react in the same way as it did in a different season. So let's just take a moment, and this is going to be a little bit of an unconventional exercise, but we'll just try it. It'll be an experiment. I just want you to take a moment, and if you feel comfortable, to place a hand on your chest and to just settle your body. If you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes or you can just soften your gaze. And then I just want you to notice sort of if there's anything that you are noticing that is coming up to your awareness that might just be helpful for you to know. Like it may be that you're becoming aware that your limits look different right now than maybe they would have in a different season. Maybe it's that you're really wanting a specific kind of connection. So I just want you to just notice if anything comes up. And if nothing comes up, just honor that that's okay too. So let's just take one more moment and just notice if anything's coming into your awareness as we talk about this idea of pacing your body. So one of the things, just as an example, that's become really true for me is having to be really aware of the amount of time I'm on social media. It's kind of part of my job, but that's something that my body has been telling me. And so I'm actually just gonna, with compassion, sort of respond to that in my body to just say, I hear you. But if something similar or a different idea is coming up for you, see if there's a way that you can respond to yourself with care. Yeah. So as we close this, I want to just always remind you that it's really your choice, the extent to which you engage this. But I love these practices because sometimes it's a way to bring into our awareness things that we may not have been sort of recognizing prior to doing that work. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you have all that you need to honor your body and to just know that I just am so grateful for your time.